Hey there, in this video we're going to go over routing in our application. So routing is the concept of going to your website.com / say hello, and then you can get an output specifically for that route. But right now we're getting an error message because we do not have this hello route in our application. So inside of your text editor, if you open up the application, and as I stated in the previous video, if you go to app, http, and routes.php, this is where we are going to put the routes for our application. So you can see here on the first line we already have route, get, and the /, which is basically our home route, and then we return a view of welcome. We could also just simply echo out something and say welcome to my site, and now if I go back and I load this page, then we get that output. So let's also add that hello route. So let's say hello, and then we'll just print out another message. So before we got that error message, but now since we added this route, we can go to /hello and we will get the output that we want. Let's say that I want to pass it a parameter. I could simply say something like name, and inside of my function I could say $name. So I could say hello there, name. So let's go to my localhost 8000 /hello/Tony. And if I added a space in there, it would look a little bit nicer. So if I reload that, then it will say hello there, Tony. So that's a simple way of passing in route parameters. Say if you had maybe an ID, you could look up this ID inside of your database. So another thing that I want to talk about is there are 4 basic types of routes, and this is the route post. We also have the route get, the route put, and our route delete. And if you're familiar with CRUD, which stands for create, read, update, and delete, that's essentially what each of these routes do. So the post will create an item, the get is going to read or display an item, the put is going to update an item, and the delete is going to, you guessed it, delete an item. So right there we have our create, read, update, and delete routes. So let's go ahead and just add a, say that we just want to make our routes just called test. So function so we'll say posted get, and I'm just simply echoing this out so we can make sure which route that we are hitting. And deleted. So if I go back to my website and I type in /test, this is going to go to our get route, because whenever you just do a basic request without posting any data, it is a get request. So there's a get request and a post request whenever we submit data to our, whenever we submit data from a form. So let's go ahead and create a simple form. And the method that we're going to give this form is a post. And then we're just going to create a submit button. Okay, and one thing that we will go into more depth later is this hidden input called a Csrf token. So the name of this is _token, and this is a security measure that's built in with Laravel, and we'll go into explaining a bit more about how great this is and how helpful this is. So the value is going to equal, and we get this helper function which is called Csrf _token. And then we will close our form. So if we go to this route and we click on the submit button, we should essentially get to the post route, because that's, we just posted data to that route. So that's great, that's what we wanted. But what if we wanted to get to this put or delete route? Because since HTTP requests only know about get and post, we can then send another hidden input with a name of _method. So we will say that we want the method in this case to be a put. So if I save that and I go back to our get route and I click on submit, then we just landed inside of the put route, which is great. So if we wanted to update an item, we could just add this hidden method and we give it a value of put, and then it will automatically be sent to our put route. And the same goes for delete. So if we change this to delete and we go back to our get route and we click on the submit button, then we will be there at our deleted route. And this is great because we already have our create, read, update, and delete routes all right here. It makes programming so much easier and so fun. One thing that I did want to talk about also is route closure. So whenever we create a new get route, say, I don't know why I'm doing test 1 2 3, but we'll just go with that, and then I print out something, we could go to this route, and what this is a route closure because we basically pass it a function. But what we could do instead is pass it a controller, and then we would say which method that we want this to go to. So we don't have to have all this logic inside of our routes.php file. We could just have a controller that has all the logic, and we will tell the route which method to look at whenever this route is hit. So that is a very basic run through of routing in Laravel, and it's very easy and it's very fun. So I would recommend looking more into it, and we will see you in the next video.